Welcome back. Right now, there's a lot of important items to pay attention to in the county, from MTS expansion to new e-cigarette regulations to homelessness. And with me now, for more on these issues, County Supervisor for District 4, Democrat Nathan Fletcher.
Good morning.
Supervisor, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I want to get on the record quickly about MTS. You just took over the board there. Timing is going to be key here, right? So, I mean, there is a new sales tax increase. It's set to go to the ballot for November of 2020. It would nearly double the current $300 million annual budget that MTS has. How confident are you right now that that'll pass?
Well, I am confident it'll pass because I think when you look at the challenges that we face as a region, when you look at congestion, we know that the most effective way to address traffic congestion is to provide transportation options. Simply building more roads, time and again, has been proven, just gets you more congestion. As we give people options, and for the overwhelming majority of San Diegans who will always drive their car, an investment in transit just means a little bit less traffic on their drive. But Alex, we have other problems. We have a lot of communities that are transit dependent. It's their only option. And so to provide more opportunities for them, to tackle our environmental challenges, greenhouse gas emissions, the single largest driver of them is the car and the vehicle. We have problems with the quality of our air, particularly in disadvantaged communities. You know, a child in Barrio Logan is 8 times more likely to have asthma than a child in La Jolla, and that's morally wrong. And so we can tackle issues of getting folks to work and helping our economy, issues of congestion, issues of the environment, issues of air quality, and great cities and great regions. Well, they have great transportation networks. When you think of DC, you think of the Metro, and Chicago and the L. San Diego, you think of the trolley. But MTS is more than a trolley. And so by going to the voters with the opportunity, which is a decision we'll make early next year, with the opportunity to invest in something that has all of those benefits, is something that I think will have widespread support.
What strikes me is, I mean, this is a ballot measure. It's going to take 2/3 in order to pass. And so, yes, there is that idea of investment. There is this idea that, you know, hey, we gotta lay the foundation somewhere. But to get 2/3 to vote on this. For something that a lot of folks are saying that, you know, it's not expansive enough. It's not something that I use on a regular basis. I mean, you feel like the message
I mean, it's not easy. If it were easy, it would have already been done. And there's a lot of things you can do in politics that are easy, but easy things are not substantive, and easy things are not impactful, and easy things don't lay a foundation for a great region. Hard things do. And so we have a sign outside of our office that says we only do hard things, whether that's behavioral health or child welfare, in this case transit. And there is a grouping of politicians that are risk averse, and they're terrified that anything may not fail, and so they don't do anything of consequence or substance, and I am not one of those. And so it is the first time in the history of San Diego that there's ever been consideration of asking people to invest solely in transit. And I understand the challenges of asking 2/3 of San Diegans to invest in something that 2/3 of San Diegans will never use. But my point is that we're all in this together. And whether you take the trolley or you take the bus or you take a car, we are all in this together, and we can build out a system together to improve our environment, to sustain our economy, to lower traffic congestion. And that's a case I'm willing to go out and make, and to really connect us all in a unique way. And we're gonna have to make that, and it will certainly not be easy, but it is a fight worth having, because it is a fight for the future of San Diego.
One other thing that I want to talk about that's coming up, a vote on e-cigarettes and tobacco products, is something that you've teamed up with Supervisor Jacobs on. We've also seen El Cajon, the city of El Cajon, has a ban of their own. This is going to a vote on the 15th. And first, I should preface this by saying that these restrictions would be specifically for unincorporated areas, San Diego County. But when we talked about this last, you had mentioned that you thought that other cities here in the county would follow suit.
Well, and I think that they will. I've had a number of mayors reach out and say, can you send us the drafting of what you're doing, the kind of legal rationale, the arguments, the regulatory framework for how you would do it. And so I think we'll see widespread adoption for 2 reasons. And there's 2 distinct challenges that we're facing. One is people are getting sick and dying from a product that is unregulated and untested. And that is on the adult side, where we don't have enough information to know the health impacts of the mix of these chemicals when they get combusted, when they go into your lungs. What does it do, and why are people getting so sick? The second problem we have, though, that is, as a parent, is equally troubling, is that we are eroding every day decades of progress in getting teens off of nicotine-based tobacco products and now they're moving into nicotine-based vaping products. And nicotine is incredibly harmful for the development of youth brains. And so the fact that we are eroding decades of public health success in getting teens off of these addictive substances with skyrocketing numbers, that is in large part driven by the marketing of the flavored products, just like we saw Big Tobacco do before. They're doing it again. They got to stop.
That's why they're grouped together. The other thing that I wanted to get on the record about. Yeah. So we saw this week the 10-year homeless plan come out,
right.
And so there's a lot of initiatives that are roped in with that.
Yep.
But one thing that kind of stood out, and some homeless advocates have pointed out, there are these measurable short-term goals, whether it be the addition of housing units or
right.
tracking of behavioral health resources.
Yep.
I mean, your assessment of this plan, and I realize it's only been out for a few days, but right now, are we on the right track?
Well, the best time to, I remember the Chinese proverb, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. The best time to have a 10-year plan would have been 10 years ago. The second best time is today. And so I think having an objective, measurable plan is important. I also think it's important to realize that this is not a static problem. It's not a X number of homeless. Every day, new people come into the system. So in LA County, they've moved hundreds of millions of dollars. They've built tremendous influxes of housing. They provide rental subsidies, and the numbers go up because you're backsliding. And so we have to systematically cite the facilities to help deal with this problem. But we have to systematically take on the problem of poverty in America. Because if you build 10 units of housing and 15 new people become homeless, you're backsliding, and we have to do both.
Gotcha. County Supervisor, it's always great to have you on the program.
Good to see you. Thank you.
All right. Coming up after the break, we've already received reports of dozens killed as Turkey advances into northeastern Syria. San Diego has one of the largest Kurdish populations in the country. We'll get a full report in a bit.